Hi guys, so today we're having a look at the new Shake eyeshadow primer from Kat Von D, or KVD as it is now. This is a really unusual product. It's in two layers and you shake it and then you use it, but it separates again really quickly, which I go over in the application section. So anyway, it's £18 or $22 for 5 millilitres. It is a clear primer. The first ingredient in it is water. There's glycerin in it, and I don't really know what the other things are. So yeah, it's unusual. You shake it, you use one drop, and it's apparently going to be the best thing ever. So we've got an application section and we're going to do a wear test. So let's see how that goes. And yes, I actually done something with my hair today. I'm not sure if I like it or if it's too much. I'm so used to doing nothing. So yeah, on to the application. Right, so let's get into this guy. I'm so fascinated by this, it's just so weird. So obviously it is completely liquid, it's in two layers just now. I'm meant to shake it up, and then there's a little button in the bottom so that you can dispense a drop. So let's see how easy it is to mix. Oh, look, you can see it's in like blobby bits. So it does start to separate really quickly, so it will be a case of shaking it really, really well and trying to get it out really, really quickly afterwards. I wonder if I can shake it with the lid off, or if that's going to be messy, because that'll save me some time to stop it from separating. That's my fault. Anyway. Yeah, because that starts separating like immediately when you stop shaking. Look how quickly that's back. Yikes. Okay. Yeah, I know, I've just like shook this like 3 times on camera. This is like the most boring section of video ever. Okay, so quickly do a drop. Okay. And it's very runny, and there we go. So runny I couldn't even show you it. Sorry. So, I mean, my first kind of, I don't want to say criticism, but it would almost be nicer if this stayed shook up for longer. Whether that would affect the formula and make it not as good a primer, maybe that's why it's got to be like this, but whew, you've not got time, you know, to footer around once you get that shook up. Right, so it does feel quite sticky, so that's good. I like a sticky primer. And yeah, so I'm just going to throw on my normal kind of brow bone colour. I'm not really going to notice any difference with this, but then I'll move on to some other more interesting shades and we will see how it does. So I will say there's obviously no pigment to this primer, so if you're somebody that's got quite veiny eyelids, that you use primer to kind of help cancel that out initially, you know, this one's not going to help you with that, so bear that in mind. I wonder if they could bring out a pigmented one, or if that just wouldn't work with the mixing and stuff as well. So I'm just noticing an eyebrow here that I so should have got rid of, but anyway, let's keep going. I'll sort it later. So, palette wise today I grabbed the Milani, not got the name on it, Rouge Gold I think, maybe. Anyway, this one, and we're going to play with Bewitched and Wait What, mainly, with maybe a bit of By the Glass as a interesting transition shade. So, fluffy brush, By the Glass, there you go, that maybe's gone straight away, it's definite. So I definitely feel like it's kind of gripping at my brush, so a good sign. My brow bone colour looks slightly less pigmented than normal, but I do usually use a pigmented base, so that's really going to be responsible for that rather than the primer. It's just that I'm used to the pigment being kind of layered. I've been using the P. Louise base lately. She's got them for all ranges of skin tones, so you can like kind of colour match. So yeah, I think that's probably why I'm looking at that and thinking, oh, less pigmented. But this is looking fairly normal in terms of pigment. It's blending out the way it normally does. I've got a couple of the Gilded Milani palettes, so right. So next I'm going to use Bewitched on an angled crease brush, and we're just going to build that up. So it is a very blue based purple, but it builds up quite dark and I like it. And then when it mixes with that red, you get a bit more purple on the blended out edge. Or a bit more of a red based purple, I should say, on the blended out edge. So I quite like that effect. Sometimes I don't like mixing red based and blue based purples, so they can start to look a bit like a bruise. But because this is just, you know, the same purple eyeshadow with the undertones changing slightly, I don't feel like it looks quite as bruise-like. So this isn't the neatest. I've done the messiest job of my eyeshadow today, and not just the fallout, the eyeshadow itself. Okay, I think it will look fine once liner's on and lid colour's on, so I'm just going to quickly try and match the shapes. One last blend. And then the lid colour, we're going for Wait What, which is a very, very shimmery colour, so that we can see how this deals with those. My lid still feels sticky, so hopefully this is going to go on really well. I'm going to zoom you guys in a little bit more. I didn't mean to leave you that far away. So it's grabbing that colour really well. So because this is quite a chunky shimmer, I would always kind of pack it on rather than swipe it. When I try and swipe it, it's not quite as good, you know. You tend to end up with like an uneven like shimmer, if that makes sense. So I like to pat it on. And you guys can probably tell why I do my foundation last. Okay, so in terms of how the eyeshadows work with it, I'm really liking the primer. So now we're just gonna have to do a wear test. And let me get the time on my phone, clear all the messages that are on my phone, whoops. So it is 11:25. We will see how this holds up. I'm obviously gonna go and, you know, finish the rest of my makeup, and yeah, we'll see how this works out. Right, so I'm back for check-in. I'm a little bit late. I should have came back a bit earlier. It's 7 o'clock just now. No fun. So a couple of hours ago I noticed the tiniest bit of creasing, but so tiny I didn't think it would show up on camera. But now it's worse. So inner corner on that one, it looked slightly less thin. It looked, you know, less creased than that earlier, but this eye's gone pretty much completely. Like, yeah, it's like almost the full width of my crease has creased at this point. I don't even know if it'll let me fix out a little bit. That's something at least. But then does that show that the primer's not really gripping things the same? I don't know. But we'll stick with it. I'm going to try it again tomorrow. I kind of feel like, you know, maybe I didn't shake it enough. I don't know. You know, I'll continue with this weird test and see where we end up. But I'm going to give this another couple of goes before I have a, you know, final conclusion. Just because I feel like if you didn't manage to get this out while it was still mixed, you would have too much of one half of the solution and not enough of the other. And that would probably stop it from working. Not that that's a good thing. I like things that are easy to use. But we'll give it another chance and see. Right, so I'm back with a quick update. So it's now 10 past 10 and it's just creasing again, just in the same place. So I am going to try this again tomorrow. I can't help but feel that maybe it wasn't that well mixed by the time I got the product out. Maybe what I should be doing is taking the lid off, shaking it already upside down, so that as I finish shaking it I can press the button, get the drop out and put it on. Which seems a little bit of a faff, but I'm going to try because I am determined that this is going to work for me. Don't know why, I just like that it's different and I want to have a weird and different product that I get to use and enjoy. So we will see tomorrow. Alright, so it's day 2 and I'm back. As you can see, not in my normal place. I had to go down to my parents', so yeah. As you can see though, the eyeshadow has not creased today. This is a Colourpop palette, just in case you were wondering. So today what I done, I don't have the bottle with me, I left it at home, which was stupid. Today what I done was I kind of took the top off, put my finger over where the product came out, shook it where it was upside down, so I could then literally like press the button as I was moving my finger away. It was all a big faff, but it definitely came out while it was still mixed together. I think I got 2 drops instead of 1, so maybe that's contributed to this. But yeah, so I have made it work. But you know, if you've been around my channel for a while, I don't like product. It's like, well, you can make it work. No, I'd rather have a product that just works every time easily. I think this is another instance of a product that's a really cool gimmick, but overall there's other products out there that aren't gimmicky, much easier to use, probably more affordable. I'm finding it quite hard to decide for myself whether, you know, because eyeshadow primers are normally a different consistency to this, it's quite hard for me to try and judge in my head, you know, the amount of uses you would get for the price compared to like a creamy one. I hope that makes sense. But yeah, overall it's cool, it's fun. I don't see anything spectacularly special about the actual product working on your skin. If you've already got a primer that you like, stick with that. It's too much faff for me personally. But if you've got any questions, leave them down below and I will get back to you. And yeah, bye guys.